Have you ever wondered what now really means? We often talk about living in the moment, but have you ever stopped to question what that moment actually is? Is it truly happening right now? Or is it already slipping into the past by the time you notice it? It feels like the present, but what if your experience of reality is actually a little behind? Imagine every decision, every reaction, every feeling you have. What if they're all based on information that's already a few heartbeats old? Scientists suggest that what you perceive as the present is actually a summary of events from up to 15 seconds ago. That means your now is really a carefully constructed highlight reel, pieced together by your brain from fragments of the recent past. Your brain isn't a passive recorder, it's an editor, constantly stitching together sensory data into a coherent story. It takes in sights, sounds, and sensations, then weaves them into a seamless narrative that feels immediate, even though it's slightly delayed. This delay isn't a flaw, it's a feature that helps you make sense of a chaotic world. By smoothing out the noise and filtering distractions, your brain gives you a stable, understandable version of reality, one that's easier to process and respond to. Instead of raw, unfiltered reality, you get a polished, stable version, one that's slightly out of date, but much easier to navigate. Think of it like watching a movie with perfect editing, rather than a jumble of random, confusing scenes. This processing lag is a survival mechanism, evolved to protect us from sensory overload. If your brain tried to process every single detail in real time, it would be overwhelming and exhausting. So when you feel perfectly in sync with the world, remember, your sense of now is one of your brain's most convincing illusions. It's a trick that keeps you grounded, confident, and able to react, even if you're always a few seconds behind. Over the next few scenes, we'll explore the science behind this 15-second lag, why it happens, and how it shapes your everyday life. You'll discover how your brain's editing room works, and why this delay is essential for your survival and sanity. Get ready, reality is about to get a lot stranger. The more you learn, the more you'll realize that your experience of the present is far more complex and far more fascinating than you ever imagined. Are you really living in the present, or just watching a highlight reel? Let's find out together as we peel back the layers of your perception and reveal the hidden mechanics of your mind. Where does this 15-second delay come from? It's rooted in real science. In a study, participants watched time-lapse videos of faces changing over 30 seconds. When asked to identify the final image, people consistently picked a face from about 15 seconds earlier. Their brains were lagging behind the actual video, averaging what they'd seen over the last several seconds. fMRI scans showed the visual cortex holding onto information for up to 15 seconds, creating a buffer. This buffer smooths out rapid changes, giving us a stable, continuous perception. The trade-off? We experience a slightly outdated version of reality, but it's much less chaotic. This isn't just about faces in a lab, it's how we perceive everything. Our brains choose stability over real-time accuracy, making life feel seamless. The 15-second lag is proof your brain is always editing your experience. Why does this delay exist? Have you ever wondered why your experience of the world feels so smooth, even though your senses are constantly bombarded with information at different times? It's because your brain is like a supercomputer, tirelessly juggling endless streams of sensory data every single second. Imagine a control room where information from your eyes, ears, skin, and more is pouring in all at once. Signals from your eyes, ears, and skin all arrive at different speeds, creating a messy jumble that could easily confuse you if left unsorted. Light travels faster than sound, and touch signals can lag behind both. The brain's job is to synchronize this chaos into a single, unified moment, so you never notice the underlying confusion. It's like an orchestra conductor, making sure every instrument plays in harmony. For example, when you watch a movie, your brain holds on to visual data just long enough to sync it with the audio, so the actor's lips and voice match perfectly. This happens so seamlessly, you never realize your brain is working behind the scenes. This process, called temporal integration, is happening constantly, every moment you're awake. It's your brain's way of making sense of the world's chaos. Your brain waits for all the sensory reports to arrive before publishing its final version of reality. It's like waiting for all the news correspondents to check in before airing the evening broadcast. The 15-second window is just the extreme end. Smaller delays happen all the time, often in just milliseconds, but even these tiny delays are crucial for creating a smooth experience. This isn't a bug, it's the system's core feature. Your brain is designed to handle these delays, turning them into an advantage. Your brain transforms incomplete, asynchronous data into the seamless world you experience, piecing together fragments into a clear, continuous picture. We're never aware of this editing, just the finished product. Our conscious mind only sees the polished version, never the raw footage. Beneath the surface, your brain is collecting, buffering, and editing, all to keep your reality coherent. It's like having a personal editor working tirelessly, making sure your story makes sense. The result? A world that makes sense, even if it's a little behind. You move through life with confidence, never second-guessing the timing of what you see, hear, or feel. That's the magic of your brain's data center, a hidden masterpiece of timing, editing, and integration, working every moment to create your seamless reality. Think of your brain like YouTube buffering a video. When you hit play, the video loads a few seconds ahead to keep things smooth, even if your internet stutters. Your brain does the same, buffering reality to avoid perceptual blackouts when you blink or turn your head. This buffer smooths over interruptions, giving you a continuous, stable picture of the world. It's like a movie editor, cutting and syncing raw footage into a seamless story. The 15-second delay is the time spent in the editing room. The final product, your conscious experience, is the polished film, not the raw, chaotic footage. Without this editing, driving or playing sports would be impossible. The world would flicker and jump. By buffering reality, your brain lets you predict, react, and navigate smoothly. So next time you see a video buffer, remember, your brain is doing it too, every second. It's the secret to your stable, reliable experience of the world. Reality, like streaming, is always a little behind, and that's exactly how you want it. Scientists have discovered a fascinating mechanism in our brains called the continuity field. This is a kind of mental smoothing system that helps us make sense of the constant stream of sensory information we receive every moment. Imagine it as an invisible filter, quietly working in the background, merging similar moments together. This process creates a sense of stability in our perception, so the world doesn't appear jumpy or fragmented, even though our senses are constantly bombarded with new data. Take a simple example. When you look at a coffee mug, your eyes are actually making tiny, rapid movements called saccades. Yet, you don't see the mug jittering around. Instead, you perceive a steady, unbroken image. That's because the continuity field averages what you see now with what you saw just a moment ago. It assumes the world is mostly stable, so it blends together similar visual information across time. This is why reality feels like a continuous, flowing experience rather than a disjointed series of snapshots. Our brains are constantly stitching together the present with the immediate past. In fact, studies using aging faces have shown that this system operates over a window of about 15 seconds. During this time, your brain averages visual information, smoothing out any abrupt changes. But the continuity field isn't limited to just vision. It also works for other senses like hearing and touch, helping us make sense of the world in a unified way. For example, when you listen to someone speak, you don't hear a series of choppy, disconnected sounds. Instead, you hear smooth, coherent sentences, thanks to this remarkable brain function. Similarly, when you run your hand over a surface, you don't notice every tiny point of pressure. You feel a continuous texture as your brain blends the sensations together. In every sense, the continuity field bridges the gaps and smooths over the raw, fragmented data our senses collect, creating a seamless experience of reality. This is the brain's way of making the overwhelming complexity of the world manageable, allowing us to focus and function without being overloaded. It's a fundamental trick of perception, turning chaos into coherence and helping us find order in the constant sensory noise. Without the continuity field, the world would feel overwhelming, confusing, and impossible to navigate. It's one of the brain's most essential tools for making sense of our ever-changing environment. Once you know about this delay, you'll spot it everywhere. Driving feels stable, even at high speed, thanks to your brain's smoothing. Athletes don't react to where a ball is. They predict where it will be, using buffered information. Déjà vu might be a glitch in this system, when your brain tags a new experience as a memory. Zoning out is another clue. When you snap back, the world fades into focus, as your brain's buffer catches up. These everyday moments show the 15-second lag isn't a flaw, it's essential. Your brain's delay lets you predict, adapt, and survive. It's the hidden engine behind your sense of now. The next time you feel perfectly in sync, remember, you're always a little behind, and that's exactly how your brain wants it. The lag is your secret superpower. Sometimes you catch your brain's editing in action, like the stopped clock illusion. Glance at a clock and the second hand seems to freeze. That's your brain filling in the gap from your eye movement. It stretches the first second to cover the time your eyes were moving, creating a seamless story. This trick isn't limited to clocks. New sounds or sensations can also feel strangely prolonged at first. Your brain is constantly revising, filling in blanks to keep reality smooth. These little glitches reveal the powerful editing software in your head. Perception isn't a passive recording, it's an active construction. The stopped clock, déjà vu, and perceptual lags are all clues. They remind us. The seamless world we experience is a masterful illusion, crafted by our brains. Every moment you're living in a story your mind is editing on the fly. Living in the recent past isn't just trivia, it changes how we see ourselves. If our awareness lags behind reality, what does that mean for free will? Are our choices made before we're even aware of them? This delay also has big implications for technology, like VR. Understanding the brain's timing could make virtual worlds feel more real and reduce motion sickness. In mental health, disorders like schizophrenia or anxiety might involve glitches in this buffering system. Studying these illusions could lead to new treatments and insights. Ultimately, this idea challenges our definition of consciousness. Maybe consciousness isn't about reacting instantly, but about reflecting, planning, and creating meaning from the past. The 15-second delay doesn't make us less human, it makes our minds even more fascinating. Our brains are storytellers, not just sensors, and that story is what makes us who we are. We've journeyed from the illusion of now to the mysteries of consciousness. The idea that your brain is always a little behind can be unsettling or awe-inspiring. To me, it highlights the brain's genius turning chaos into a stable, livable world. The 15-second lag is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. What other illusions shape our reality? What tricks does your brain use to make sense of the universe? Next time you spot a glitch, a frozen clock, a déjà vu moment, remember you're glimpsing your brain's editing room. Does knowing you're living in the recent past change how you see your own experiences? Let me know what you think.